I've been reading Human Action by Ludwig von Mises. As a welcoming surprise, I didn't know this treatise on economics was not just a topic about economic theory, but also some economic and philosophical history. So I would like to share some of what I've learned from Mises. The philosophy of a society free from market regulation is the philosophy of liberalism in the classical sense. A theme liberalism introduced is an ideal liberal state where it has its interest in harmony with its citizens. In this construct, the liberals entrust their ideal state to be good, virtuous, and to promote welfare by being laissez-faire. The philosophy of socialism is the philosophy of a single entity, agency, or director acting alone in the socialist economy. All of the other citizens in this socialist society are subordinate to the state. The socialist state decides how production of goods ought to be operated and directed. But there is a common theme with socialism and liberalism. They both imagine a state where it does what it ought to do always, whether it promotes free markets or a planned economy. But where this common theme diverges with the socialist and the liberal is how they use this mental imaginary construct of their ideal state. The liberal merely constructs an ideal to strive for. However, the socialist takes it a step further and constructs an ideal to be fully realized in reality. It is then this introduction of a twisted theme that the state can be all good. What then followed came the idea that the state can be better than erroneous citizens, and so the state ought to take control of production to save the citizens from themselves. Then the state transcends a group of mere mortal humans. The state gains a religious status of being omnipotent. But this imaginary construct of omnipotent statism can only be formulated from the perspective of a given socialist. Both the liberal and the socialist are imagining a state where the directors will act in such an ideal way. The specific idea of the ideal can only be of the opinion of the individual imagining such a state. What I mean is that the socialist, the one who believes such an ideal state can and should be realized, is only imagining a state the socialist approves of. Then came Karl Marx with his philosophy of polylogicism, the idea that human reason lacks means to find truth, the idea that classes of humans each have their own variant of logic, and that any universal logic isn't real. With his theory of class analysis, his polylogicism came into full effect, where the proletariat class and the bourgeoisie class differ in logical reasoning. If you are interested in finding out more about Marx's class analysis, watch my videos on me debunking it by clicking the link above. Marx's polylogicism was one of his tools to fight against the arguments against socialism. It was this tool that was used to attempt to justify the invalidation of capitalism. For the logic of the bourgeoisie economist class were not valid to apply to the logic of the proletariat, and so the truth about economics became subjective to what class you belonged to. And if Marx considered you a proletariat, then the truth to you was that society should be organized socialistically. Matters that are more pressing is the Hegelian meliorist doctrine that human history marches progressively towards the improvement of human society. Marx's doctrine of the inevitability of socialism was his way of innovating on the meliorist theory. This was yet another argument against capitalism, and it was allegedly so any critique of socialism was a waste of time because it was inevitable. Marx took on the status of some sort of prophet for the working class, where he asserted he had this power to know what the proletariat and the bourgeoisie cannot know. He knows socialism is coming, and it is good, like some sort of savior against the evils of capitalism. It became a utopian ideology, a heaven on earth. The impact of these events leads to the philosophical consequences we face today as libertarians, where there is a proclaimed moral ought to transfer the agency of people over themselves to the direction of the state. Going off script a bit, there's like a lingering philosophy of statists who believe that there's some sort of inherent danger to being liberated or free, and this is evident in the fact that people advocate for minimum wages of certain degrees and licenses to prescribe to selling goods such as alcohol and such. And it shows that there's a philosophy that humans cannot govern themselves, and we need other omnipotent, better humans such as the state to govern us. Going back to what I wrote down, as the religious statist doctrine goes, the state knows better, both in the sense that it does not err, and that truth is subjective, and your liberty-loving truth is inferior. The state is better, both as it provides security and safety better, and that freedom will lead to chaos and destruction, and this good will come for us all. You made it to the end of the video, and thank you for staying to hear that I reached 100 subscribers. And I can feel something great will come from this channel. I plan on talking more about my thoughts on philosophy, history, economics, perhaps maybe even current events or other beliefs I feel like sharing. Who knows? I got more learning to do and share. Thank you for watching.